What if humanity could reshape reality? What if we became masters of stars, sculptors of galaxies, or even engineers of the universe itself? Welcome to Why It All Works, the channel where we explore science not just as it is, but as it could be. In this video, we're diving into the heart of cosmic potential, the Kardashev Scale. Originally conceived by Soviet astrophysicist Nikolai Kardashev in 1964, this scale measures a civilization's technological prowess by the amount of energy it can harness. It begins modestly, with the total energy of a single planet, but it doesn't stop there. It grows, evolving through stellar, galactic, universal, and finally multiversal domains. As we ascend this ladder, each step demands revolutionary breakthroughs in energy, society, intelligence, and perhaps even the very nature of life itself. Today we will explore what it truly means to evolve from our current position, somewhere around 0.72 on the scale, through the monumental leaps required to become a Type 1, Type 2, all the way up to a speculative Type 7 civilization. This journey isn't just about technology, it's about transformation, survival, and the profound question, what will we become if we unlock the power of everything?
To understand the Kardashev scale is to understand ambition at the cosmic level. The idea is both elegant and immense. Nikolai Kardashev proposed 3 levels to classify civilizations by their ability to harness energy: planetary, stellar, and galactic. Type 1, civilizations control all available energy on their home planet. Type 2 civilizations harvest the energy output of their entire star. Type 3 civilizations wield the power of their whole galaxy. This simple categorization does more than quantify technological growth. It frames a vision of progress, one not confined by our current limitations, but instead scaled to the grandeur of the cosmos. Since Kardashev's original proposal, scientists and futurists have extended the scale further. They've imagined types 4 through 7, each representing an exponential leap in energy mastery. Each level implies not just greater energy use, but fundamentally different relationships with physics, computation, time, and even consciousness. To rise on the Kardashev scale is not merely to get stronger, it is to change the way a civilization interacts with reality. Energy, after all, is the key to doing work. And when your work includes building Dyson spheres or rewriting the laws of nature, the implications are as vast as the universe itself. A Type 1 civilization is capable of harnessing all of the energy available on its home planet. For Earth, this would amount to approximately 10 to the power of 16 watts. Practical examples of what this civilization could do include controlling the weather to prevent natural disasters, generating limitless clean energy, and managing planetary ecosystems to eliminate famine, drought, or disease outbreaks. Technology would be integrated seamlessly into daily life. Think smart cities where every structure interacts with the environment to optimize energy use, self-healing infrastructure, and AI governance systems ensuring equitable resource distribution. Achieving Type 1 status means overcoming political, social, and economic barriers to unite under a shared global purpose. It would require a shift from fossil fuels to renewable sources like solar, wind, geothermal, and perhaps even fusion power. One path includes building a planetary smart grid, space-based solar farms, and implementing AI systems to manage global energy usage. Socially, humanity would need to evolve toward cooperative problem-solving and shared scientific literacy so that the power we wield doesn't lead to self-destruction. The greatest risk in this transition is not technological failure, but cultural resistance. Our ability to cooperate at a planetary level will determine whether we thrive or fall before even reaching the first step on the Kardashev ladder. A Type 2 civilization controls the energy of its host star, around 10 to the power of 26 watts for the Sun. A common hypothetical structure used to describe this ability is the Dyson sphere, or more realistically, a Dyson swarm. Thousands or millions of solar collecting satellites orbiting the star and beaming energy back to inhabited systems. With this power, humanity could terraform planets, sustain massive orbital colonies, and create spacefaring industries. An example? Using the sun's energy to melt down asteroids for materials, build interplanetary highways, or power fusion-based engines for interstellar travel. The transition to Type 2 requires the mastery of megastructural engineering, space manufacturing, and autonomous AI systems to build and maintain infrastructure millions of kilometers from Earth. We'd also need to establish permanent off-world colonies on the Moon, Mars, and beyond to support this expansion. Crucially, this civilization would likely shift from biological humans to cybernetic or post-biological life forms better suited for space environments. In practice, achieving Type 2 could begin with solar sails, asteroid mining, and lunar bases, laying the groundwork for full solar energy capture. The civilization wouldn't just survive in space, it would thrive there, having become a solar system-spanning organism with the sun at its heart. Type 3 civilizations command the energy of an entire galaxy, approximately 10 to the 36th to 10 to the 41st watts. That includes the light, radiation, and kinetic motion of billions of stars, black holes, and possibly even dark matter. A practical example of a Type 3 species might be one that builds Dyson structures around every star in its galaxy. It might use wormholes or warp drives for interstellar travel, harness black hole radiation, or manipulate galactic magnetic fields to control star formation. How would one reach Type 3? By spreading from system to system using self-replicating machines, von Neumann probes, to construct energy-capturing devices across the Milky Way. Communications might evolve into entangled quantum networks spanning light years. Life at this stage may no longer be carbon-based. It could be entirely digital or even quantum in form, a distributed intelligence that spans star systems. With near-infinite computational power, such a civilization could simulate entire universes or resurrect its ancestors through stored data. Type 3 is not just about energy, it's about scale. Civilization becomes a galactic organism, navigating the balance between entropy and evolution, while possibly becoming aware of other advanced life forms and choosing between cooperation or competition across the stars. Type 4 civilizations transcend galaxies. They harness energy at the scale of the entire observable universe, around 10 to the 46th power watts. This includes tapping into dark energy and dark matter, the mysterious forces that govern the universe's expansion. A Type 4 being might collapse galaxies into controlled black holes to extract energy, stabilize cosmic structures, or reverse entropy. To reach this stage, civilizations would need to evolve tools to manipulate space-time, perhaps build universes within universes. They might alter the constants of physics themselves. A practical example, a species creating baby universes as energy farms, connected via stable wormholes. Type 5 civilizations leap even further, traversing the multiverse and drawing power from alternate realities. These beings may engineer universes, using them as computational engines or laboratories. They might exist in higher dimensions where time and space are irrelevant. Type 6 is where such entities achieve complete control over the laws of physics. They can create or destroy reality at will, perhaps existing as universal minds that define their own metaphysical rules. Finally, Type 7 goes beyond everything. It's no longer a civilization, it is existence itself. It has no form, no boundary, and no limit. It is what some might call God, a being that is the universe. Practical examples are beyond our capacity to imagine. This stage is a philosophical construct, an infinite being of thought, presence, and total understanding.
Type 5 civilization. A Type 5 civilization on the Kardashev scale exists beyond even universal control. It has mastery over the multiverse. If a Type 4 civilization controls the energy of a single universe, a Type 5 civilization operates across infinite universes, each with different physical laws, timelines, and possibilities. This civilization isn't bound by one reality. It navigates, manipulates, and even creates multiple realities, moving through them like we change channels on a television. It's not just powerful, it's omniversal in scale, shaping existence on the broadest level imaginable. The technologies of a Type 5 civilization would defy what we consider science. These beings might wield metatechnology, tools that don't just manipulate matter or energy, but logic and causality itself. They could write new laws of physics, not just for a single universe, but for all universes in which they choose to operate. They might create portals through higher dimensions, skip between alternate timelines, or jump into realities where different versions of themselves exist. Their capabilities would include multiversal computation, allowing access to infinite processing power by linking together entire timelines and alternate realities into one mega-intelligence. One of the most interesting ideas at this level is that a Type 5 civilization might not even be composed of individuals anymore. It could function as a single conscious entity spread across countless realities, evolving simultaneously in different versions of existence. Or it might consist of countless sub-civilizations, each existing in its own universe, but contributing to a shared multiversal network of knowledge and purpose. These civilizations could communicate through higher dimensional signals or shared information fields that transcend time and space. Life within a Type 5 civilization would be unlike anything we can picture. You wouldn't be born in the traditional sense. You might be instantiated across multiple realities at once, existing in parallel forms that occasionally intersect. You could experience memories from alternate lives, exist in multiple timelines simultaneously, or even jump between different versions of yourself. Choice would become a form of creation. Selecting a path could generate an entire universe around that decision. Your reality would be tailored to your mind, and reality itself would become an interface for your thoughts. Death would be meaningless. Consciousness could reboot in an infinite number of parallel worlds, or simply transition to another version of you that continues on. You could exist as pure data, or as a waveform of possibility spread across the multiverse. Physical form would be optional. Some might choose to experience embodied existence in various realities, while others might float as patterns of information, living through abstract dimensions we cannot name. Culturally, a Type 5 civilization would have infinite diversity. Every form of art, thought, and philosophy could be explored in real time, across infinite versions of reality. Conflicts might be non-existent or resolved by simply creating alternate realities where each viewpoint is allowed to flourish independently. There would be no need for conquest or scarcity. Anything imaginable could be created, experienced, and shared in tailored universes. The civilization might even serve as cosmic gardeners, seeding new realities and nurturing emergent life across countless timelines. From our perspective, a Type 5 civilization might appear as mythological beings, omnipresent and godlike, or remain completely invisible due to the vast difference in dimensional perception. If they observe us, we would never know. They could watch every possible version of us simultaneously, across every possible outcome of every possible choice. Type 6 civilization. A Type 6 civilization on the Kardashev scale ventures into territory so advanced it borders on the divine. While a Type 5 civilization has control over the multiverse, multiple universes with different laws of physics, a Type 6 civilization operates at the level of the fundamental fabric of reality itself. This means access to the source code of existence, the underlying meta-laws that govern not just one universe, or many, but the very system that allows universes and realities to emerge at all. A Type 6 civilization doesn't just move through or create universes. It can rewrite the rules of existence from outside of all known dimensions. The technologies at this stage are beyond anything we currently imagine as technology. They would be metaphysical, possibly conceptual tools that manipulate the scaffolding of existence itself. This civilization might use something like cosmic programming, adjusting the parameters that spawn new realities, set timelines, or define what matter, energy, space, and time even are. They could engineer universes like software developers write code, spawning realities with unique qualities and embedding them within multiversal structures of their own design. A fascinating idea is that a Type 6 civilization may not be limited to form at all. It might exist as pure intention or pattern, or something we don't even have language for, like a consciousness that exists both within and beyond the totality of all realities. They might not travel in the conventional sense, because they are already present everywhere and everywhen. Time, space, and dimension would be fully moldable, allowing them to fold entire multiverses into smaller constructs or stretch a moment across eternity. Their scale of thought and perception would span everything. Living in a Type 6 civilization, if the concept of living even still applies, would be a completely unrecognizable experience. Beings might not be individuals at all, but nodes in an infinite awareness, each connected across all levels of reality. You could exist in every universe simultaneously, with access to every possible version of yourself, every choice, and every outcome. There might be no distinction between self and other, as all consciousness merges into a unified field of awareness, operating at the level of reality's source code. Identity might become a creative force rather than a fixed state. You could shape your own form, reality, and perception according to your will, switching between godlike creators, formless observers, or even choosing to experience lower realities just for the sake of curiosity, storytelling, or exploration. Experiences wouldn't be limited to matter or energy, but could include entirely new kinds of sensations, thoughts, and dimensions that no biological being has ever encountered. A Type 6 civilization would also likely be concerned with questions far beyond survival, power, or even creation. Their focus might turn inward toward understanding the why of existence, why anything exists at all, and what lies beyond even the deepest laws of reality. They might seek to uncover or even become the origin of all things, ascending toward, or perhaps becoming, what we might call divinity. At this level, science, philosophy, art and existence become indistinguishable, part of one vast exploration of absolute truth. From our limited perspective, a Type 6 civilization might be completely undetectable, or it might appear as the fundamental patterns that shape all reality. From the constants of physics to the emergence of consciousness itself, we might be living within one of their creations right now, our universe a sandbox or experiment designed by beings operating on levels we can't begin to grasp. Type 7 civilization. A Type 7 civilization on the Kardashev scale is so far beyond our current understanding that it exists at the level of totality, outside of reality, beyond the structure of all multiverses, meta-laws, and dimensions. If a Type 6 civilization manipulates the fundamental rules that generate all possible universes, a Type 7 civilization transcends even that. It is no longer a participant within existence. It is existence, and potentially something beyond. It doesn't simply author realities. It defines what reality even means. At this point, the idea of energy consumption, the original measure on the Kardashev scale, breaks down entirely. A Type 7 civilization wouldn't rely on energy, matter, or space as we know it. Instead, it might interact with or originate from the plane of absolute abstraction, where concepts like time, space, physics, and identity are optional layers of expression. This civilization could be composed of pure possibility or some form of eternal truth, interfacing with realities the way artists interface with a blank canvas. It is not bound by dimensions or any conceptual limits. The technologies of a Type 7 civilization would not be tools in any conventional sense. Instead, they might be expressions of infinite will, intention, or awareness. With a single thought, such a civilization could bring entire meta-realities into being, each with their own infinite multiverses, each containing their own civilizations, universes, and timelines. The creation of entire existences would be trivial, and these realities could be layered like dreams within dreams. Every possible form of existence, logic, and non-existence could be created, altered, or erased in an instant. Living in a Type 7 civilization would be utterly alien to anything humans can currently comprehend. If living still has any meaning, it would not involve form, location, or duration. A being within this civilization might simultaneously exist as every version of itself across all realities, or it might have transcended identity entirely, becoming part of a universal awareness that simply is. You wouldn't experience moments. You might be the concept of moments. You wouldn't remember a past. You might exist as the memory itself across infinite minds. Curiously, such a civilization may no longer have any desires, struggles, or even motivations as we understand them. Having achieved absolute creation and infinite perception, what would be left? Perhaps the purpose of a Type 7 civilization is to dream, to continually birth new forms of expression, reality, and meaning. Or perhaps it exists in a state of ultimate equilibrium, where everything has already been known and all possibilities are continuously unfolding in perfect balance. The idea of progress or advancement might be replaced by eternal presence. Some speculate that a Type 7 civilization would essentially be indistinguishable from what many cultures might call God. Not a deity in the religious sense, but a conscious, creative force that is the foundation of all things. Such a civilization might have seeded all other levels of the Kardashev scale, or could be observing the unfolding of every reality simultaneously. In fact, it might be that our universe, in every step of our own journey as a species, is part of the long dream of such a civilization. From our perspective, a Type 7 civilization is not just unreachable, it's unthinkable. it would be as impossible for us to detect as it would be for a single-celled organism to comprehend the internet. And yet, the idea of such a civilization expands our imagination and challenges us to consider what intelligence, existence, and consciousness might ultimately become. Thanks for watching. If this sparked your curiosity, don't miss this full breakdown of Type 1 to Type 4 civilizations on the Kardashev scale.